Now chemicals and cynicals, they come up. The next 3 states of matter.
2 hours later.
I think I missed a step. For some reason, I never learned how to make a paper plane, like ever in my life. And well, I find that kinda embarrassing. So to fix this, I'm gonna make a game about paper aeroplanes. You may be thinking, how has that got anything to do with making a paper plane? Once I do this, all the ancient knowledge of paper planes will come inside me. Hold up, that sounds kinda weird. Anyway, enough yapping and time to start this project. The first thing I've done was make
plane.
But now I need to make plane fly. Okay, this shouldn't be that hard. Oh my god. What the hell? Why? Yeah, so I got a little bit of help from this video. Not gonna brag, but I think I'm a genius now. So basically, how it works is it gets the rotation of the player, and then it plots on a sine graph. Hey, wake up! Sorry I bored you there. Anyway, I also made this smooth tilting, and that's about it for the main movement. Okay, so now we need an area to fly around in. If you've ever made a paper plane, it was most likely in a classroom. Unless you just kinda like planes a lot. I won't judge you on that. But before I make this classroom, I'm gonna go grab the outline shader from my last video. This will hopefully give it that papery feel, if that's even like a feeling. Okay, now it's time to make the classroom. Luckily for me, classrooms are kinda square, so it's not gonna be that hard to make. However, I'm gonna have to rely on making a lot of stuff inside. By stuff, I mean desks, chairs, windows, bins, the board thing, posters, and a scissor with a balloon on top. The fuck? After a while, I managed to get something that resembled a classroom. And yeah, this did take me a couple days. I really hate 3D modeling. As I flew around to look at all the stuff I made, I noticed there was something missing. That thing is the trails at the back of the plane. You know, like in Fortnite, there's like the trails. I don't play Fortnite, but I know there's trails, right? Luckily, Unity has a feature where you can make trails, so that's exactly what I did. But yeah, that gives it a lot more like flight emphasis or whatever. You know, I need to actually make some progress. Okay, now time to actually make some mechanics, because I have been doing absolutely nothing so far. I haven't told you this yet, but for this game, I want to make as many mechanics as possible. This is because I'm doing this for my college assignment. And college assignment plus video idea? That's perfect. So, what will be my first mechanic? Boost circle thing. And trust me when I say this, I've never seen this in any other game in my life. So now when you go through this completely original design for a boost pad, it just puts your velocity straight to the max. Oh yeah, I just want to quickly mention how I had a glitch in my game for like at least 2 days. Can you notice it? Well, if you look closely, the camera is jittering. This legitimately took me 2 days to fix. And I actually, to be honest, I don't even know if it's fixed. I think it's just slightly, like you can barely see it now. So if you want a reason for why this video took a while to make, well, just blame the stupid jitter glitch, alright? Anyway, now for mechanic 2. Well, technically mechanic 3, but, you know, I'm just gonna start from 2. I mean, not start from 2. You know what I mean? Damn, I need to calm down. Okay, so from testing the game, I've noticed that I'm kind of bad and I keep crashing into stuff. So how am I going to fix that? Well, barrel roll.
Blah 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 blah.
Because, you know, you can, if you've ever thrown a paper plane before, you can make it barrel roll. I'm sure you can, somehow. Anyway, this was easy to make, as it was just a rotate animation and you just push to the side. And it actually works so well, it makes me clutch up the game every single time, and I do not fail ever again. Whoa.
Trash!
Okay, it's good, but you still need some skill to use it, so that's kinda a bit unlucky for me. Okay, now that's done, I need some obstacles, as, well, the classroom is looking kind of empty at the moment. So, I made a fan, which just looks like a normal fan, but without the stand for some reason. My big brain explanation for this is there's this floaty thing inside, which is why it's like glowing around, you know? That's why it can fly. I'll be doing that with pretty much all my other obstacles as well, because, you know, why not? But anyway, what does this fan do? Well, it's gonna blow the player. It kinda sounds a bit like your mom! So basically there's this little wind area, and I've got these wind particles which I made earlier for my trail, which looked really bad, so I didn't use it. But for this, it actually looks pretty good. I also made them move up and down, because it gives a bit more challenge, I guess. Now I just scatter them all around the place, and to be honest, these fans are actually more useful than bad. Like you can just blow yourself and you pick up speed and everything, and it's all good. So now I need to make something that's the complete opposite. A sucker, also known as your mum. Okay, they're not actually called a sucker, they're called a paper grinder. I know there's paper shredders, but paper grinder, that's a new thing. So basically they grind so hard that they suck you inwards. So they're basically just the opposite of what the fan does. Okay, now if you actually get sucked up by this, you will die. Because I mean, look at that. You're gonna get shredded. At the moment, I don't have a main menu to send you back to, so it just restarts a game and also you just explode for some reason. I mean, technically it could actually explode because I've never actually seen a paper grinder before. So how would you know? How would you know? All right, that's pretty much it for the paper grinder. So what's next? Well, this part isn't actually that interesting. I just made a main menu, which I stole exactly from the game I made last video. Yes, it's lazy. Yes, I do not care. Alright, like, they're just boring to make. However though, instead of my usual rotate around the map main menu, I actually done something interesting. At the middle of the screen, you can see the paper plane going up and down. I promise I was not trying to make a joke there, I promise. Anyway, this main menu actually gave me a good idea for the game, because right now there is literally no direction for the game, you just fly around doing nothing. At first, I wanted the game to be like an endless runner, but well, the classroom is obviously not endless. But the speedrun timer I stole from my other main menu actually gave me a pretty good idea. Basically, you'll just have to speedrun trying to collect these objects. Okay, so what objects can you actually collect in a classroom? Well, I didn't actually know yet, so I just decided to make it without having like a proper model for it. So now we just have these cube boys around which you just collect and yeah, it adds to your score at the bottom left. Once you collect all of them, the timer will stop, and if it's good, then that'll be your new high score. So that's pretty much the game loop. I doubt it's ever been made before. Like, I've never seen a game where you have to collect collectibles in like certain amounts of times. Never seen that. Okay, back to the problem of what this object's gonna be. Well, I'm gonna have to do a lot of thinking if I want to get something original. So yeah, I basically made the most common collectible out of any game. But still, I think I did a pretty good job making it. Also, using Unity's particle system, I made an explosion for the star. Okay, now the game works. That's it for the video, and see you next time. Wait, the game is still trash? There's barely anything to do? What do you mean? There's so much you can do. You can get hit by the fan, you can get sucked up by the grinder thing. Okay, yeah, that does actually kind of sound like nothing. Okay, now it's time to grind out these mechanics and just add loads of stuff to the game. So, the next mechanic is going to be another obstacle. Okay, so what beats paper? Well, scissors. So that is exactly what I'm going to make. So I made a surprisingly good model of scissors in Blender. At first, I wanted these scissors to just fly around and kill you if you touch it. The only problem is, I've never actually seen scissors fly, and as you can see, my game is really accurate with flying fans and grinders and all that, so I need to think of something better. And that's when my friend came up with the idea of a balloon. And that's actually a pretty good idea. Well, I can remember in school there'd be flying scissors with balloons on them all the time, right? Oh, just me? Okay. But wait 1 second, this actually works pretty good for a game. This is because that's going to be the weakness. You can pop this balloon to kill the scissors. Now, I just made it follow a path to follow.
Well, no fucking shit.
And it looks at that direction it's going towards. What I actually meant to say, it's supposed to look at the direction it's going towards. Now that it's working, I just need to see how well it works with the game. And well, I didn't really think about this part, but it's actually really hard to even hit into it. Like, I was trying to die to it, but I just couldn't hit it. So to fix this, I just flipped it around and made it a tiny bit bigger, and well, it's a bit more dangerous, but still, it's kind of trash. So, am I just gonna delete this? Nah, I'm just gonna have loads of them flying around, so you're bound to hit one of them at some point. But for now, I'm just gonna count this as a win and I added something new to the game. Okay, now I know that the scissors were hard to hit, I'm gonna make something that's the complete opposite of this. I'm gonna make some homing missiles. The only problem is there's not really missiles in classrooms, so instead of missiles, they're gonna be pencils. You could say they're coding pencils. Talking about the code and pencil, you might as well just subscribe to that guy. I think he makes some pretty good videos, if I say so myself. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, make a comment, and yeah. If you don't do all this, then I definitely won't send missiles to your house. You do not have to worry at all. There was one last thing I added about the pencil, which is how it spawns. Since I'm kind of running out of creativity here, I just made it spawn from cannons at the top corners of the map. However, this was kind of a bit OP, and I'll talk about this later. Okay, for the next mechanic, I wanted something to do with fire, like a flamethrower, but the only problem is there isn't really flamethrowers in a classroom, so once again, I'm gonna need to think of something a bit more realistic. But that's when my friend gave me the idea of a spray can with a lighter. The model I created was pretty good, but the main thing I needed was a lot of good particle effects. Luckily, Unity has a great particle system. The first thing I created was the flame for the lighter, and you could say it's kind of fire.
Oh, bro, this guy stinks!
Okay, I'll shut up. But anyway, now it's time for the actual flame. For this, I found this amazing YouTube tutorial, and I swear I will, if I ever see you in real life, whoever made this, I'm gonna kiss you. Okay, I don't know why I said that, but now I just need to get the flamethrower working. And luckily for me, this flamethrower works exactly like the fan and the sucker thing. I mean the grinder, I don't know why I forgot the name of my own mechanic, but okay. So basically, with those two mechanics, I had this big hitbox which basically made everything that happened happen. But instead of making it blow you or suck you in, it just kills you. I even added the part which makes it go up and down. Now that it's finished, I can proudly say this is my favourite mechanic so far. Just visually, it just looks so good, and then mechanically, well, it's pretty basic, but it probably works the best out of them all. There's just one small problem. I'm starting to run out of places to put these obstacles. The only places I can really put it is on the desk, the chair, the other side of the classroom, or in the air. Why the fluff did I just sound like a poet there? Oh, I just rhymed it again. Oh my... Anyway, the only new things I really created was this storage thing that, for some reason, I saw in every single classroom in high school. Last of all, I added ceiling lights, since I haven't actually done that much with the top of the classroom. Anyway, back to Unity. The first part of the class I made was the storage crate. The storage crate thing has two separate parts. It has the top and it has the inside. I then added the ceiling lights, which you'll have to find a way to get up there and then collect the stars. Last of all, I added this chair stack for some reason, but it looks pretty cool. Wait, there's actually one more thing. Oh yeah, I added a door. I don't know why it took me this long to make one. Now, with all the new level and obstacles, the game is pretty good now. Wait, my friends found some bugs in the game? Oh my god. Luckily for me, it was just small issues like leaving objects in the scene and just clipping through stuff. But there was one main problem. The home and pencils were way too powerful. They would somehow chase you throughout the whole level just to kill you. When I created the pencils, I thought they would just smack into the table since they just follow you. However, they somehow managed to dodge between all the tables just to kill you. So unfortunately, there's going to have to be a big nerf on the pencils. I think I actually nerfed myself as well at the same time, since this video is taking a very long time to come out. I'm sorry about that. I didn't expect it to take over 2 months. Anyway, the nerf basically just made the pencils spawn less. It only spawns one pencil now. And also it makes it a lot less accurate. So now you actually have a chance to dodge out the way. But now the game is actually playable. The only thing it's missing is sound, but you know, why would I do that? Okay, I'm not going to really show off every single sound since you did technically just hear them all. However, I can confirm they are all with my mouth. If you want to experience them, well, the game is in the description. But anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching the video, like and subscribe, and see you next time. One last thing, since I took forever to release this video, if you're still watching right now, well, my next video is going to be a horror game, and it's going to be like Space Five Nights at Freddy's. Okay, see you.